Okay, let's unpack this. If you spent any time at all looking at trading charts, you know those lines, right? The ones that smooth out the price moves.
Using averages, yeah. Foundational stuff for a lot of traders.
Absolutely. But here's where it gets, well, really interesting and kind of tricky. Nailing down the perfect length for your strategy. It's always a challenge.
Oh, definitely. Too short, and you're just getting whipsawed by noise.
Right. But too long, and you're always like playing catch up, missing the move.
Exactly. So today, we're diving into, well, a pretty cool solution to that exact puzzle for you.
It's true. I mean, the manual backtesting required to really figure out that optimal length.
Yeah.
It's such a time sink. Honestly, most traders just don't have the hours.
No, they don't. And that's what's so revolutionary here, I think. We've got this new data-driven approach that can completely transform how you use these indicators.
That really is the core problem, isn't it? That hunt for the best look-back period.
Yeah.
We know a short moving average, it sticks close to the price, sure, but man, it can generate so many signals. A lot of noise.
Too much noise, often. And then the long one, it smooths things out, looks nice.
But it lags significantly sometimes. You might miss really good entry points or even exit points.
Precisely. And the old way, just trying out length after length manually, it's tedious.
Painfully so.
Huh?
Which brings us to the solution you mentioned.
Right. The best SMA Finder. It's a new indicator. You can find it on TradingView. It was created by Julian Ha.
Okay, Julian Ha. And how do you add it?
Super simple. Just go to indicators, type in best SMA Finder, and make sure you pick the one by Julian Ha. Click it, and it's on your chart.
And once it's there,
Yeah.
what does it do? How does it find the quote-unquote best one?
Well, this is the clever part. It automatically backtests 991 different simple moving average length. That's SMA length.
991. Wow. What range is that?
It covers everything from a really short 10 periods all the way up to a very long-term 1,000 periods.
Okay, and for each one,
Yes.
it's evaluating them somehow.
Yeah, for every single one of those 991 lengths, it looks at three key things. Profit factor, that's your total profit divided by total loss, basically.
Got it. Profitability measure.
Right. Then the overall win rate. And third, the total number of trades it actually generated.
Makes sense. Profitability, consistency, and activity.
Exactly. It then scores each SMA based on those criteria. But importantly, it won't just show you any result. It only displays the SMA length that meets a minimum trade count.
Ah, so it filters out strategies that maybe looked good but only traded like twice.
Precisely. Keeps it statistically relevant. You can actually customize that minimum trade count in the settings. The default is 100 trades, which is pretty reasonable.
That sounds incredibly useful for avoiding, flukes. Can you tweak anything else? Tailor it a bit more?
Yep. Besides adjusting the minimum trades to consider, you can also change the strategy type. The default is long only.
Okay.
But if you trade both ways, you can switch it to buy and sell to include short trades in the analysis too.
So it's not just a static moving average line.
Yeah.
It's smarter. It's dynamic based on the chart's history.
That's the idea. It's a smart, data-driven MA tailored specifically to the chart you're looking at right now. It helps find that sweet spot between profit, consistency, and how often you want to trade. And yeah, it saves hours of manual work.
Okay, let's step back for a sec. We know moving averages fundamentally smooth out price action. They filter noise, help spot trends. Price tends to stay above and up trends, below and down trends.
Right, the basics.
But if I just manually add, say, a 100 period SMA, which is pretty common, how might that compare to what this best SMA Finder digs up?
That's a really key point. Your manual 100-length MA will be smooth, no doubt, but it's also going to be slow, lagging.
Right.
The tool, though, might analyze the data for that specific chart and say, actually, a 30-period SMA has performed best historically here, which is much more reactive.
Interesting. So both have their uses depending on style, but the tool gives you an evidence-based choice for that specific context.
Exactly. It refines that common practice of just picking a standard number.
And lots of traders don't just use one MA, do they? They often layer them.
Very common. Maybe use a shorter one for quicker signals and then a longer one to confirm the overall trend.
Yeah, the classic crossover strategy. Short MA crosses above the long MA that's seen as bullish, crosses below bearish.
Yep, that's a staple strategy for many. And while we're focusing on simple moving averages, the SMA, because that's what this tool optimizes, it's worth just briefly mentioning there are tons other types out there. Exponential, double EMA, triple EMA, weighted, Hall, Laguerre. The list goes on.
Right. EMA is probably the other most common one. Reacts faster than SMA, generally.
It does, yeah, because it weights recent prices more heavily. But the trade-off some find is that it can give more false signals because it's so reactive.
So maybe EMA for entries, SMA for the bigger picture trend.
That's a popular approach. Use the faster EMA for getting in, but the smoother SMA to confirm you're still on the right side of the main trend. The key is understanding these differences, and now potentially having a tool to help optimize whichever type you prefer, starting with the SMA.
So, wrapping this up.
Yeah.
What's the big takeaway for you, the listener? This tool, the best SMA Finder, it's not just about, easily drawing a line on your chart.
No, it's more fundamental than that.
It really feels like a shift away from just guessing or using standard settings, moving towards a much smarter, data-driven way to use a core trading concept and saving countless hours in the process.
Absolutely. And if you zoom out even further, connect it to the bigger picture, it makes you think, doesn't it? In this world awash with data, how much of our analysis can be automated? And maybe even should be automated.
Interesting point. Automated not just for speed,
but to provide more precise insights, freeing up our own mental bandwidth for the more complex strategic thinking that maybe can't be automated as easily.
Yeah. Food for thought there. Think about that as you consider how tools like this best SMA Finder might empower you to be, a more informed, more efficient decision maker in the markets. We really hope this deep dive helps you unlock some new possibilities.